Guys, here we are with the Esker Hayduke in the Mullet setup with that nice beefy, not beefy, but nice wide Terravel Coronado in front, 29 by 2.8 on a I-40 WTB scraper rim, and in back I have the Victoria Morsa 27.5 by 2.6 on my WTB, not the scraper, but it's another WTB rim. I forget the exact name of it, but it's 40 millimeter width. So they're both wide rims. So it's not only kind of a mullet setup, but it's a mullet plus setup, if you will. Especially since a lot of guys are running 30 millimeter internal width rims. I have a couple 30 millimeter rims, but for the most part my rims are 35 or 40. I just like the wider. And I feel like that my tires don't feel like they're squared off, they're fine. Matter of fact, I feel like the tires are better even if I'm doing something like a 2.6 on a wide rim. I've done a 2.2 on a 30 millimeter rim, and that was fine. That was a 2.2. What was that tire? A Schwalbe Knobby Nick, which is not the most aggressive tire. I mean, it's more aggressive than the racing tires like a Racing Ralph or a Rocket Ron. But I don't get racing tires. There's no need for me. I don't race. And sure, they're light. Sure, they roll fast, but they don't last long, that's for sure. When you've already bought a tire that's been shaved down already for you, it's not going to last long. And I don't mind the weight or the slowness. For me, it's just getting the climb done so I can have fun. I guess if you're riding trails where you're doing a lot of pedaling and you're not really gaining a lot of altitude, perhaps you want just a lighter tire and a more racing tire to allow you to do those longer, more endurance rides. That's just not where I ride, and it's not my thing. Like usually this whole part up here, I'm hardly pedaling at all. I'm not pedaling at all right now, obviously. I'm watching my speed a little bit because it is Sunday. So on Sunday, you will have people coming up. It's a beautiful day. Look at that. Look at those wispy clouds. It's a little bit windy. It's about 65 degrees. So perfect temperature. But you still have to kind of watch it because it's Sunday. And then what happens in the winter in California It's California, Southern California is a desert. So the days get nice and warm. You get the nice warm desert days and desert skies. But at night the temperature just dips. And you'll get down to the 40s and 50s. Just because there's really there's no humidity, so the air is really thin. So even though it got warmed up during the day, there's nothing to keep that warmth at night. So it feels pretty good right now. Honestly, it feels a lot like just a regular 29er setup. I don't notice a big difference. Maybe on El Prieto, where I have all those switchbacks, I'll notice the little more planted rear tire with it being 275 as opposed to 29er. I haven't rode this week since I think Tuesday or Wednesday. I didn't get to ride Saturday, so I'm kind of out of shape, if you will, for a guy that likes to ride, 4 or 5 times a week. When I'm only riding 2 or 3 times a week, this would only be 2 times this week. That's not enough for me. And tomorrow is a holiday. I have one meeting in the morning, even though it's a holiday. I scheduled a meeting, so got to do that meeting, and then I'll go for a bike ride. So I'll be able to get at least my Monday ride in tomorrow. And then back to work on Tuesday. But I've been riding after work. This last week I didn't get to do a lot of rides after work. And it was cold, you guys. It's hard to motivate myself to ride when it's overcast and cold. We had some changing weather, a little bit rainy, so it wasn't very motivating to ride. So here's the one climbing, well, I guess it's the second climbing section from the top of Brown to the saddle. And then after that, you're pretty much downhill the rest of the mountain. Even El Prieto, you've got a couple small 100-yard climb sections. One thing I like about Strava and kind of using that to record my rides is I could see not only my times and my rides, but I could see where I could, be a little more consistent with my ride frequency. And when you look at it holistically and see, okay, this month I rode a total of 18 times. I could have added a few more times. So holistically, you like to look at it and say, damn, I'd love to be able to ride 25 times, 28 times out of, a 30-day month or 31-day month. Next month is a short month, so February, it would be nice to actually make a goal and do a full month of riding every day. Whether you ride, you don't even have to ride all the way up, 3,000 feet up to the top of Brown, but you could do some shorter rides or some different rides where you just ride 1,000 feet or something. It is mountain biking, and the whole objective for me personally in mountain biking is to ride in the mountains, not necessarily ride foresty trails or flat trails that are, have no elevation gain. But you got to ride where you live. So that just happens to be where you live and work, and you're raising your family, or your family's raising you. I don't know how old you guys are, but